Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, May 17th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. I better put this up because it's sprinkling lightly. As you can probably see, it's cloudy and rainy. We have not seen the sun in 2 weeks and probably will not see it for 2 more. I'm used to the clouds, I'm used to the rain. But I'm not used to these cold temperatures in the middle of May. It's just plain awful. In fact, I gotta stop the video. It's raining so hard now, I can't continue. I gotta go inside. All right, guys, that's a lot better. Now I'm inside, it's dry, and we can really get started. In tonight's video, I'm going to firstly show you some screenshots of the eBay event, both events in fact, the Tuesday event and the Wednesday event. And I'll do a very quick narration and then we will get started and we will get into it deeply. Let's do that now. Okay guys, the first event was on Tuesday the 14th and it was called eBay Reserved. It was a dinner and it was located here at a restaurant called Butter, which is, I think it was on West 45th Street, if I remember correctly. And it was a good restaurant, really nice place. And this was the beginning of happy hour, the first hour where sellers commingled, chatted, had hors d'oeuvres, had drinks, and basically socialized. Then the dinner took place, which was a little bit later than scheduled, but the food was very good and the atmosphere was nice. And I know that it's always very polite to take pictures of your food. The next day was the 15th, and this was the eBay Seller Social, which was held on West 25th Street. Here is the check-in, and as you go inside, you can see on the right and out of camera range on the left are various tables with employees from various eBay departments. This is the snack table, which I made a beeline for as soon as I got there. Nothing wrong with that. There you are, another view of said table. And the snacks were good, no complaints. Beverages are available. And here you can see people setting up at the tables and eating and drinking and basically socializing. And they put up a presentation, a little PowerPoint presentation, and I specifically took a picture of this one screen because it had to do with what they call feedback improvements. And I want to spend just a little bit of time on this. The first thing says images for multi-quantity listings. What that basically means is people, when they leave you feedback, can include images. They can take pictures of the item you sold them. And I honestly don't know why they're hyping this, but they are. The second thing is something most of you also know about, the new most relevant sort. Meaning if you click on a seller's feedback, instead of the most recent feedback showing, they're going to show you most relevant. I honestly don't know how they discern what is most relevant, but that is left for the imagination. And the last thing is feedback reminder to buyers. I honestly, myself, I'm not so sure this is a good thing because in a way it's kind of like poking the sleeping bear. But I know for a fact they have been doing this because I bought some stuff on eBay recently and I am getting feedback reminders. So I don't doubt that one bit. And then it ended in the parking garage, just like it always ends. Now let's get back to the video and I'll do some heavy-duty, in-depth discussions. Now let me briefly talk about both events and what was accomplished at each event. I must say that I always enjoy going to these eBay events and hobnobbing with eBay executives and fellow sellers. In the first event, which was the one on Tuesday night, that was an actual dinner. It started out with a happy hour where we had drinks and socialized and hors d'oeuvres were passed out. And the sellers that were at this particular get together were, for the most part, people I've never seen before, people I've never met. I asked around and I did some investigation, and most of the people, I would say 95% of the people at the dinner were from the New York City area, of course, but are very, very big sellers making a lot of cash on eBay. Maybe there was 5% that wasn't, but I think 95% were. I mean, I didn't know any of these people. They were all first timers to me. And we basically just, discussed eBay, the ups, the downs. We didn't have very much intermingling with the eBay workers, with the exception of those that were seated at our table. Each table had about 2 or 3 eBay executives dedicated to that table, and we did socialize with them. So yeah, it was great. I have no complaints, except for the weather and the rain driving down the West Side Highway both days. But yeah, the next day was the eBay Seller Social. That was on Wednesday. Now that was more of the meat and potatoes. That's the event that I think more of you guys would have been interested in, because that's where we actually did interact with the eBay people one-on-one, executives and non-executives too. And this is mainly where I was able to get some ideas put forth and shared. And hopefully it did some good. But I want to discuss firstly the ideas that I really push for, and then I'll tell you some things I learned or other things that happened. The first thing I pushed for was, of course, I got to be honest with you, was a little self-serving, and it had to do with eBay Motors and the eBay Guaranteed Fitment Program. There were 2 members from the eBay Motors team in attendance, senior members. I'm talking, one guy was my age, and he totally understood what I was explaining about the Guaranteed Fitment Program not working correctly, and he even admitted to me that returns seemed to be on the up ever since the program was launched. I told him, and quite respectfully, that I think the program needs to really be shelved, boom, put on hiatus until it's retooled properly. I even gave him one idea that he seemed to really be fond of, but of course, that doesn't mean anything, because I talk about this every week to you guys. I say, if you have, for instance, a 99 Cadillac, the car comes with different options and different trim levels, but that doesn't always mean anything. There are so many different wheels available, radios available, and I came up with a great idea how we could solve the wheel problem. I said, if I have let's just say an alloy wheel center cap for a 99 Cadillac, the problem is the car comes with 6 or 7 different wheels from the factory. And I always put a picture of the wheel in so people don't make a mistake, but they still screw up anyway, and they still claim wrong item sent. We all know this is a problem. So my idea is eBay would list all the wheels for the 99 Cadillac in pictures, and the customer would have to physically check off the wheel that he has on his car. Now, if my part interchanges with that wheel, they get a thumbs up green. Go right ahead, buy the item. But if it doesn't, they get a big red X saying, no, it doesn't fit. You can buy it, but you're buying it at your own risk. I think that's just a great idea. And the representative said he would take the idea back with him to San Jose. Whether anything ever comes of it or not, your guess is as good as mine. But I can definitely be sure of one thing. Even if something does come of it, it's going to take quite a while to roll out. I also discussed other things besides eBay Motors, things that would affect all of you. The first one being eBay's new policy on not removing negative feedback that's unwarranted. It's ridiculous and it's uncalled for, and eBay is actually screwing themselves because so many sellers have been requesting callbacks from concierge to get unwarranted negative feedback removed. This wouldn't happen back in the old days. That automated link just doesn't work, okay? I said to one of the guys, one of the eBay employees, he said to me, listen, Joe, negative feedback is not going to hurt you. You sell a lot of items on eBay. If you get 2 or 3 negative feedbacks, it means nothing. And I looked at him, I said, you are wrong. The defense is wrong. I said to him, it's going to hurt you in search. The algorithm is going to pick up those negative feedbacks and it's going to hurt you in search, especially once you first receive the feedback. And he looked and he said, you know, Joe, I can't say you're wrong about that. That's something I'm going to have to look into. I said, no, you don't have to look into it because I'm telling you, trust me, 25 years selling on eBay, I know what's going on. I said, please trust me, it will hurt. eBay definitely needs to address the negative feedback removal situation sooner rather than later. Again, all I can do is convey the ideas. Whether they're going to do them or not, I have no say in that. We talked a lot about promoted listings. The employees were very interested in pushing promoted listings. And I gave them feedback, honest feedback on what I thought about the promoted listings. I started out with standard, promoted listings standard. I said to them, I do promote all my listings between 3 and 6%, and I do feel it helps. I said, I know a lot of people don't want to spend the extra money, and I'm not thrilled about spending it either, but if it's going to bring in sales, it's a necessary evil, and I can accept that. I said, it's very easy to use. I said, conversely, promoted listings advanced is a major failure. I said, it's too complicated to use, it's not easy to set up, and it doesn't bring in a sufficient amount of sales. I have checked my graphs and my facts, and I know what I'm talking about. And, you know, not a single employee questioned me. They basically said, this is what we've been hearing from other sellers. Then there's another feature they've been pushing, offsite ads, offsite promoted ads where you pay per click and your stuff is picked up by Google, supposedly. And they wanted to know what I thought about that because I guess it was 2 months ago or maybe 3 months ago, eBay sent me a coupon I could use, a match play coupon. I think it was for $100. Don't quote me on the price, but I did engage in it because it was a win-win for me. I was taking advantage of the coupon, so I figured, what the heck, I'll do it. But I did not feel I derived any significant benefits from that. So yeah, what else did we talk about? We talked about a little bit about authentication, but that is not something that really concerns me. eBay is very big on the authentication program, especially for things like sports cards, sneakers, watches, all those expensive items. These are things I have absolutely no interaction with and things I will not be selling on eBay in the near future. In fact, eBay even had a get-together regarding the authentication program. It was either on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was Tuesday. I wasn't invited to it because, again, it's not my area. So those who did go, I'm sure they learned something new. And yeah, by and large, I would say the atmosphere at both events was positive, both from the eBay employees and from the sellers. The only thing that really seemed to be pissing off a lot of sellers is the new feedback removal policy. Everybody was complaining about that. And that's understandable because it's just not right. I sure hope eBay does something really quick to remedy this because this was a big faux pas on their part. Really big. When I was at the social, which is where the individual tables were set up, the table that I spent the most time at was the promoted listings table. It sort of happened by accident. That's just where I landed. I saw they had room there, so I landed there like a bird looking for bird seed. And I had a very good talk with the nice ladies that were running that particular table about promoted listings, things like that. And you guys know how I am on my videos, how candid I am. Well, I was just as candid in person. You can trust me on that. I also got a lot of selfies with the eBay executives, but I'm not going to bore you by posting them here on my video because I don't think I should be upselling myself. I never try and upsell myself. I want to make this channel about communicating eBay policies, both positive and negative, and experiences that I'm having and that you're having. And that being said, I think that's basically all I'm going to present this week. This video was basically dedicated to the New York City social and dinner. And I wanted to share it with you because I know for a fact none of you were there. All right? I did meet quite a few sellers who knew me, but most of the sellers who knew me were some of the big time sellers, several who actually know me from YouTube as well. So yeah, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it entertaining and informative, and I'll be back next week with another edition of the Crazy New York Driver Show. Thanks for watching, rock on, and peace.